Hello everyone, this is Jonathan Kiley here with FlySkins.com. I'm going to show you guys how to utilize Kiley's Scud Skinz, which come in a pack of 12 to 18, a variety pack, or you can buy individual sizes themselves. I'm going to be demonstrating on a size 12 Scud hook made by Umpqua. Tiemco makes the same thing. And there's various Scud hooks out there. There's a couple different ways to tie a Scud. I'm going to show you it's like a rolled Scud at the moment, and I'm also going to tie it in a color that's common around my area, which is a grayish green. I'll be using the Scud Dub made by Hairline as well, some UTC ultrafine silver wire, and then Coke de Leon feathers for the legs and antenna. So first thing I've done is I've wrapped my thread base with the 3/0 mono thread, and I like to do that because I like to make my thread as not visible as possible. I just don't like the look of it. It makes it look a little more realistic, which is kind of what I'm going for anyway by utilizing the Scud Skinz. I'm going to take my feather and I'm going to strip off some of the fibers. I'm going to tie in some in the rear section, and I'm going to make them roughly about half to the full length of the shank of the hook is basically the length that I go to. I'm going to wrap those in, and I'm going to follow the thread. I want to get it down around the bend to make it look like it's rolled up. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to trim this excess off. I'm going to tie in some more in the front. Same thing, leave about half to full length of the shank of the hook off the front. I think the more you have on there sometimes the better. Just looks like that it's moving around as this thing's kicking around the bottom of the river or stream, wherever you're fishing it. The next step, we'll tie in my silver UTC ultra wire. Silver is what I'm using because I'm going to use a grayish green, and I think it complements it pretty well. I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to tie it back to just where I stopped with the Coke de Leon fibers. My next step is to use the dubbing. They're grayish green color here in Colorado. They're a bunch of different colors. Sometimes other people use like orange and pink and shrimp color, which are fine. Those are kind of attractor type colors. So I'm going to use the grayish green color Scud Dub. And this is kind of the fly where a little extra dub doesn't hurt sometimes when you're tying it in, because you're going to pluck out some of the fibers to add to the legs. So I'm going to use a little bit extra than I normally would with a lot of other flies. Now, a lot of Scuds, what you'll notice if you seine the waters is they will have like a pinkish spot in the center of them. So I'm going to try and duplicate that. I'm going to use some shrimp color trout ice dub from Hairline Dubbing. I'm going to put it right in the center. Sometimes it's a little dot, or sometimes you'll see, or just like I'm doing, the whole center mass of the Scud actually turns like a real pinkish color. And come in with some more this olivey kind of gray Scud Dub. Same amount that I put on the back, because 50-50 for the most part. I'm going to wrap this in, and if you notice, it's pretty proportional where it arches pretty well. It's thinner on the ends and fatter in the middle. Do a little whip finish on the end here to just hold it in place for now. Alright, so now it's time for me to put on my Scud skin, and what I like to use is an X-Acto knife to pluck off the Scud skin itself from the paper. It's clear vinyl, so any color dubbing you use underneath will shine through the Scud skin itself. You just lay it on there. It's got a pressure sensitive adhesive on it, so it helps hold it in place. I'm going to turn it towards you so you can see. Okay, and it's got the natural ridges in it, which is kind of nice because highly pressured water, I've noticed, sometimes it helps to have a more realistic pattern as close to looking like the actual thing as possible, or the insect or aquatic life that you're trying to represent. So then I'm going to kind of just pinch it around there. I'm going to take it, my ultrafine UTC wire, I'm going to wrap right in between those ridges which is convenient because it helps hold it down nice and it gives it a more natural look. Gives you good spacing as well. You can kind of maneuver it and twist it around if you need to. It doesn't hurt anything. I'm going to do a couple wraps up towards the end, tie in my wire. Put a little hitch in there. I'm going to come back and trim my wire. I have an old pair of scissors for this. I use the back of the scissors. Come in, throw a couple more whip finishes on there. I never actually use a whip finisher, I just do it all by hand. What you can do, it's clear now and it shines through all the dubbing, but a cool thing about these Scud Skins is if you want to add spots with a magic marker, now would be the time to do it. So if I want to add some spots or I want to make the eyes, because you can some of the larger Scuds you can actually visually see the eyes on the Scud. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in, put a little black dot here up front, add a little more realism to it. I'm also going to take my X-Acto knife. Again, you can use a pick or anything else you have on your tying bench to pluck out these fibers. I like to use the knife because as I'm pulling through, it actually cuts it, and it's usually about the right length, exactly where you want it. You just have to be careful. You don't want to cut your thread, so you don't want to go too deep. I go in between all the little sections with it. And your wire, it helps hold all that stuff in place, so it's really going to be just fine. You can also add weight under this. I didn't do that in this one. Most of the Scuds that I tie, I actually I don't add weight. It's not my first fly on my rig if I use multiple flies on the rig. So I'm just going to go in there and kind of gently pluck those out. Okay. My next step, what I'm going to do, I like to use the Loon clear fly finish flow. It's really thin, and the cool thing is as it seeps under the Scud skin, when you cure it, basically what it does is it bonds it to the actual fly, so it makes a nice solid platform of the fly, makes a really durable fly. I'm going to put some on here on the back, kind of wiggle it back and forth. I'm going to rotate it before I get my light. Now I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to cure this, and it creates a little arch in the back, adds a little extra transparency to the fly. I'm going to go back on each side and put a little more, and some of it will seep under the skin, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. It's going to make for a really durable fly. I'm going to come back on this side. Same thing. As you notice, it's taken on quite a realistic appearance at the moment. And that is it, folks. A realistic Scud with the Scud Skins.